Hey YouTube, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. The new Flysky FS-G11P radio. Have it for some time now. I really love it. Awesome radio Flysky released for an awesome price. And it has a ton of options. Unfortunately, manual is not so good. It does only come with the English and Chinese language menu from Banggood. I bought it from Banggood, paid about 130 euros only, using a ton of points and coupons. And it was said to be the English, French, German version, but it is not. And for some people this could be a problem. The manual is not super detailed, and since it has such a ton of options, four-wheel steering is one of those options, and it's not super easy to see how to do this, how to set the mixing and all this stuff. And in this video I will show you how to set 5 different ways of four-wheel steering. First, I will show you what's not with any mixing, simply how to control the rear wheel steer, which I did not connect now, by, for example, this turning wheel, or by a 3-position switch like this one. That's super easy. And then I will show you the four-wheel steering mixing function, and here there are 3 different ways how to control those. Quite awesome, and you can even control the rate on the fly. But first of all, before you start, you should check the endpoints of your servos, front and rear. I connected the servo, the rear wheel steer servo, to channel 3. I didn't even use the 11 channel receiver. I used this really Gen 4 receiver, what's simply a rebranded Flysky FS R4P. They are even available locally here for about 15 bucks only. Quite awesome. So first of all, not to damage the servo, go to the simple basic sets and then go to EPA endpoint adjustments, and you see here I did already 78 for the steering, and channel 3 I put it to 78 too. That's the maximum the servos can do. Also check sub trim, set your servos correctly. You see channel 3 I also adjusted this one, and of course check reverse if that's normal or reverse. And the easiest way to check channel 3 is to use a simple mix initially. So set up your front steering and then go to mixes and use program mix 1 or whatever you want, and then you have to, you see it's off now, set it to on, and master channel, steering, slave channel, channel 3, or wherever you connected the servo to, 100%, everything fine now. And that way you can see you can set up the rear steer servo. I will switch it off now again. And did not switch it off. Check this. It's not a bug, you have to know it. It's still blinking. So if I go back to main screen now, it's not off. You have to confirm off, and now everything's right, and only front wheel steering. Many people don't really want to use those mixing program functions. They like to control the rear steer or the servo of the rear steering by a switch with 100% or whatever rate of the servo, only right or left, or independently by a turning or control wheel. We have here now the switch 4, SW4, and hope you can see it, VR2. That's this wheel. And of course, that's super simple to do. So go only to aux channel, and we have channel 3 and control none. We go to, those are the different types of switches and buttons. So we have K, SW, TR, what's trim, and VR. VR, and we have VR1 and VR2. Those are those control wheels. I set it to 2 now. Confirm, and now it should work, and I can control rear steer independently. Of course, you can do all settings you want, endpoints or whatever. So 2 independent settings, or we don't go to VR, we go to SW4, for example. So TR switch 1, and it made 100%. Now that's important. That's why you should adjust endpoints before you start all this. And we go to switch 4, confirmed, and now we have only left and right and 2 totally independent steerings, rear steer and front steer. And now we switch it off again, main screen. And for this way of steering, you don't need any mixes, so don't activate 4-wheel steering. For using the mixes, you have to activate the mix 4-wheel steering and additionally assign the correct switch, the switch or switches or buttons you want to the different functions. So we have here mixes. Better that way. We have mixes. First we have to go to mixes and activate 4-wheel steering. Then we have to go to assign and assign different buttons to our functions as we want. And additionally, we also do have the possibility to adjust the 4-wheel steering rate or the rate of the rear steer on the fly by a special function. So first of all, go to mixes and we go down. No, we don't go down. The first mix is already 4WS, 4-wheel steering. And you see it's off now. We switch it on. Now it's on. And channel 3, set the second servo to channel 3, rate 100%, and we have different ways. You see F steer, only front steer, they call it. That's what we anyway have. Rear steer, only rear steer. Then we have FR steer. What? Does it work that way too? Yes, it works without confirmation here, but it's not saved. What we call grab. And FRR, so front rear. And that's what we normally call 4-wheel steering, or we use as 4-wheel steering. And if you want to use the option to control all 4-wheel steer or all steering modes, so front, rear, grab and 4-wheel by only one button and always cycling, then it's not really important which mode you choose here now, because all will be chosen. If you want only one single option for four-wheel steering, what would be that way normally, I'd say, and by one button control only front steer or that way of four-wheel steering, then it's important you choose here FRR, rear. That's the mode that will be chosen later. If you choose another or whatever crap, then this one will be chosen. And if you want to control all four modes or three additional modes by a single button, then it's not important what you choose here. So we are now on four-wheel steer on, but we don't want to have it always on. And I will show you this now with four simple buttons. Those are K1, K2, K3 and K4. You can select nearly every button and switch for those functions that you like now or later. Those trims didn't work, but now for demonstration purposes it's easiest to do use those four buttons. So we have now four-wheel steering on always. We don't want this, of course. So we go to Assign, and then you see here in blue you can choose the four different buttons and switches. We have the K, the SW switch, the TR, what's trim or whatever, the VR, what are those wheels, and most of this stuff works. I will assign it to you now with K, because we have here K1, K2, K3, K3, K4. We have more Ks here. We have here K5, we have K6, K7, I guess K8 Ks. So what can we do? K1 would be that button here. Function, nothing. And we can go down, press it, press it, press it. And then we have, where is it? Come on. Beginner, four-wheel steering switching, four-wheel steering rear, four-wheel steering same, four-wheel steering reverse. And we want now only four-wheel steering. And let's go to the main screen. And we have now four-wheel steering. I set K1. Check this out. Here's the four-wheel steering symbol, which does even show the correct four-wheel steering we use now. And if I press K1 now, four-wheel steer close. And it's also, the symbol is gone too. And only front steer, four-wheel steer. Message, symbol. Of course, that's would be nice, maybe for K5, which is this one. So assign it to any K you want. I give K1 and on now and show it K5. This could be a nice one. Beginner, four-wheel steering, the only four-wheel steering. So, okay. Some people could like this, control it that way. We have four-wheel steering now. We have the symbol here on the display, super nice. And four-wheel steer close, only front steer. Four-wheel steer. And I choose this FRR in the four-wheel steer menu. You saw it. If you would choose the grab or only rear, then the mode you chose will be used here for this way to control four-wheel steering. Assign K, let's do K, K5 four-wheel steering. I don't want this now. Okay. Or let's stay with K5 because it's nicer than K1, 2, 3, 4. And you saw we had 4-wheel steering, but we have 4-wheel steering switching. And that's a nice one. Now we have all 4 modes. So K5, I use this button now. Go to main screen. What do we have now? We have 4-wheel steer. And now it says front steer on. Only front steer. And you even see it on the tiny symbol here. Next one, rear steer. You see it even on the tiny symbol. Only rear steer. Next one, grab FRS. You see it here. That's super nice. And only 4-wheel steer, only front. So that's maybe a good button for some, or you could also what you want. There are so many buttons to control this. And this was the 4-wheel steering switching. And we have to go to assign. I'm still on K. You test what you want. Most of the buttons and switches work, not all, but most of them work. And we have K5 4-wheel steering. Yes, switch it off now, none, because I want to, let's do K2, K3, K4. Let's not use K1 here for anything. Let's do K2. And go to the first one. Beginner, 4-wheel steering, 4-wheel steering switching. We had now 4-wheel steering rear, same, reverse. So there are 3 different modes additionally to only front steering. So let's K2 set to rear, K3 set to same. You see it also here. That's super, super, super nice to program. So Radio Master MT12 programming and programming this radio, it's such a big difference. And K4, let's set to 4-wheel steering rear, same, reverse. Oops. Okay. K2, K3, K4, set to those. Main screen. So those 2, 3, 4, do it now. Okay, I've set rear. Now I have switched off rear, okay? Rear open, rear close. Rear close, then we have the main, the normal way, only front steering. Rear, rear open. Also the symbol, only rear wheel steering. You can close it or even keep it open. The next channel will overrule it. Same, what is grab, open. I can close, same. And then we have front. And 4-wheel steer, that button K4. 4-wheel reverse close, 4-wheel reverse open, and additionally with this symbol here, which even shows the right mode. So that's super, 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 super nice, isn't it? Isn't it? And that's maybe the way I will let it. So 4-wheel steer, or maybe set this function to that button. I'm not sure. You can set it as you want, and it's super, super cool. So front and rear and grab and 4-wheel. And we have it an additional, a last function, the last thing I will show you in this video. And we have to go to the main screen. Oops. And again, we go to assign. And now we go, for example, to this VR1 here. And so we K, don't want K, don't want SW, don't want TR, I want VR, okay? And VR1, and it has no function now. And There are many functions. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? So steering, you can set it to one, countless things. Awesome. And go down, down, down. I found it. ABS, 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 steering, priority, 4-wheel steering rate. Here is it. Check it out. We set it to 4-wheel steering rate, VR1. That's this one. And check this out. 4-wheel steering rate. You can set it on the fly. So I have now 4-wheel steering. Wait, come on. And you see, only 37%, so lower rate. If you set it to 0, rear servo won't work. So you can adjust the steering rate on the fly. Awesome radio, so many options, so cool. Really love it. But I checked this in the manual and it doesn't really explain it. You have to play around. I like to play around, and I can already tell you I really like this radio. It's an awesome, awesome radio for an awesome price. Flysky FS-G11P. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you in the next video. I'll be back.